Oh hey, welcome to my desk. Today I'm going to be drawing animals that I think are very cute. It's so hot and muggy out today. I keep thinking it's going to rain, but then it doesn't. Oh man. So I've actually done a couple videos before drawing animals. Mostly like types of animals. So I did one about birds, and then I did bears, and I think fish. I think that's it. But I didn't want to be constrained by any like one category for this video. So I thought it'd be cool to do like just animals that I think are cute to me. And like in hindsight, they all are kind of similar actually. But I didn't plan that. I guess those are like the animals I think are cute. But I'm going to start today with the sea otter. The sea otter. The sea otter. And the sea otter is really cute to me. Especially in this picture. It looks like it's making a difficult decision. And I do think that the sea otter is slightly cuter than the river otter for its fur. It's like slightly furrier in appearance, so that's why I think it's a little bit cuter. But I was reading that the reason that it's so furry is actually for its own survival. So, unlike whales or other aquatic mammals, the sea otter doesn't have any blubber, which is like a special layer of fat that keeps the animal warm and also helps it to float in the water. So the sea otter relies solely on its fur and its ability to trap air in it to stay warm and to float. And in fact, the baby sea otters have an even more dense and buoyant type of fur that they lose when they mature, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to dive for food. So I thought that was pretty cute and interesting. And the sea otter also has its entire life in the water. So they're born in the water. The mother gives birth in the water and then creates like a sort of nest out of kelp. And it like keeps them all together, while the mother hunts for food. Yeah. They also use tools, which I think is really cute, like rocks and stuff to break open their food, as well as a very, very cute habit of sleeping in the water, holding hands. So this is a common practice for otters so that they don't float away from each other while they are sleeping. And they're called rafts. Rafts. Which I think is also really cute. Little rafts of groups of otters, you know. So yeah. So that is the otter. Very, very cute. And the next animal that I'm going to draw today is also very cute. It is the raccoon. The raccoon. The raccoon. So the raccoon is native to the Americas. And I do think they're cute now, but growing up I used to see them kind of in my backyard at night sometimes, and I would be a little bit scared of them, to be honest, because they're a little bit, mischievous, and because they're nocturnal, they're only out at night, which is also, a scary time. But now I think they're cute. And there's a lot of interesting things about the raccoon. They're very smart. They're able to solve complex puzzles and have even been ranked as just under monkeys in terms of intelligence, which monkeys are pretty smart too, so pretty smart. They have very dexterous hands that are almost like human hands, They have almost opposable thumbs, which makes them very good at, finding food and doing things that require that dexterity. Raccoons do have a habit of rinsing their food in water. I don't know if you've ever seen that raccoon trying to wash its cotton candy and then it just dissolves. If you haven't seen that, you should look it up. But so people at first thought that the raccoons were doing that to clean it, like a hygienic activity. But the reality is that they do that so that they can feel better. So the water makes their hands up to 50% more sensitive. So they use their wet paws to almost essentially see things and identify their food, make sure that it's something they want to eat, Which, I don't know how they figured that out. I don't know if I would have ever come to that conclusion. Another really well-known characteristic of the raccoon is these mask-like markings on its face, which, add to its mischievous look and reputation. But they also serve a purpose for the raccoon. It blocks light and makes them better at seeing things at night. So, yeah, another cute little detail that helps them to be survivalists. And they are semi-domesticated. I do know that some people have them as pets, but if you have other pets, it's not a good idea, I've heard, because they think that they became somewhat of a trendy animal over the last few years, maybe. I work as a teacher, and I have discovered that there's a song that's just like capybara, capybara, and my students sing that all the time. And a lot of them are obsessed with capybaras. And so am I. I think really what made them so popular was like a series of viral images that depicted them kind of chilling with different animals. And yeah, so they're really well known for being highly social creatures, and they're pretty much cool with all types of animals. They've been seen with crocodiles and birds, monkeys. Yeah, everyone likes capybaras, you know. And they are the largest rodent species known to us. One of the largest. I think maybe nutria, similar, you know, also pretty large. But yeah, they're designed to be in the water most of the time, even though they are kind of like land creatures. But their nostrils and their eyes and ears all sit very high on the face, so that the capybara can be mostly submerged in water and still breathe. And in fact, capybaras often sleep in the water, mostly submerged, just sticking their noses out to breathe, which I think is also pretty cute. Maybe something that's not especially cute about them is that they eat their own poop. It's like a double digestion process for them because they eat like highly fibrous foods that require, you know, two eating rounds. So they can like absorb the nutrients and the fiber, or the, you know, the digested nutrients in their poop. So yeah, pretty gross, but you know, whatever you gotta do. So that was the capybara. And I'm gonna do one more animal today, and it is the fennec fox. The fennec fox. The fennec fox. I do find this animal also very cute for obvious reasons. They have the largest ears relative to their heads of any other animal. And they live in the desert climate of North Africa, I think, or like, yeah, maybe also sub-Saharan Africa. And the fennec fox's ears are large like that for a few different reasons. The first being that they act as heat conductors or radiators. So there's a lot of like blood vessels in the ears that conduct the heat and spread it out, you know, making it, cooling down the fennec fox, so to speak. It also means that they have incredibly good hearing. So they can hear like insects and other prey underground or, at any distance, and they're able to find their food that way. And because they live in the desert, really high temperatures, they've developed the ability to pant at an accelerated rate, which cools their bodies down as well. So they go from like an average of like 20 breaths per minute to up to like almost 700 breaths per minute, which is, it's a lot. So yeah, they're able to cool down that way too. I think they live in groups. I've definitely seen photos of fennec foxes, like stacked up on top of each other. they stack up on top, and it looks like, a store product with their heads all aligned. Another interesting thing about the fennec fox is that they never drink water, or they don't require it. They can extract all the water from the foods that they eat, that they need, which I personally love to drink water, so that would suck for me. But cool, good for them. Alright, so that was the fennec fox. Well, I hope you like this one. Let me know in the comments what animals you think are super cute, and if you agree with my choices. And I will see you in the next one.